And his name is Onozuka Masashi. He is the partner of Roland Berger in Japan. So he will join us from Japan. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your participation. My name is Onozuka from Roland Berger, Japan. Today, I would like to talk about Logistics 4.0 and innovation in logistics. Well, before we get started, let me introduce myself first. Roland Berger is a strategic consulting firm located in Germany. And we have many offices across the world in Europe and different areas. And I am in Tokyo office of Roland Berger. And as you can see here, we have an office in Seoul as well. And I am handling the logistics and supply chain. And I not only work with Japanese companies, but also Korean companies in terms of drafting long-term vision and management planning, new business planning. So through this session, if you have any question, please feel free to contact me with this email address right here on the screen. So whenever you have a question regarding logistics, please let me know. Well, now let us get started on Logistics 4.0. Well, we have the translated version of my book called Logistics 4.0. So now let us get started with my presentation. So before the Logistics 4.0, we had 3 previous steps. Let's look into the first step, which was Logistics 1.0 in 1900. It was about trucks, trains, steam and motor ship, and it allowed the transportation in mass scale. And after the World War in 1950 and 1960, things were automated. For example, the containerization was carried out, and we started using a lot of forklifts, and that was Logistics 2.0. And in 1980, we had Logistics 3.0. So TMS or WMS, these were provided, and the logistics management and systemization was carried out. After that, we are currently experiencing Logistics 4.0. And this is what I call manpower saving and standardization. So there are 2 keywords. So let us get started with manpower saving. As you can see, there's an autonomous trucks and drones and robots being used. These are used in various places. It means that we can reduce the manpower, and without them, we can still transport the cargoes. And that is what I'm talking about, manpower saving. So if you ask me whether this will be automated in just one day, I would say no. I will say it will take about 10 to 20 years for this manpower saving to be established. So even if we don't have a very strict training, even the new employees can implement all these works, and it won't be too difficult to do. And that would be the new generation of logistics. And let's move on to the next point, that is standardization. This is a supply chain, and from the upstream to downstream, everything's connected. And even with the competing companies, you can share information if you want. And it can go beyond the sectors that we are communicating with. So the logistics can be integrated with other industries as well. And we can also share information about weather and cargoes. All this information will be connected and standardized. When I talk So these days we talk about sharing economy, and internet is also another keyword that we can talk about. In the world of logistics, things are connected closely. If we have that kind of connected world, then we will be able to achieve standardization. So manpower saving and standardization, these are two major key points for Logistics 4.0. So this will dramatically change the logistics world. So first one I would like to talk about is manpower saving. So we are moving away from work-intensive industries to investment-intensive industries. So rather than thinking that we can put a lot of human resources into one sector, we can start to adopt autonomous vehicles or autonomous vessels to automate things. And secondly, let me talk about standardization. Everything's will be connected. So if they are not connected, it won't be an effective logistics. So until now, we require to have the know-hows for logistics. But if everything's connected, the work will be standardized. And it may also mean that differentiation will be impossible. So the way we compete will be totally different. So we will move away from labor-intensive industry. We will move towards investment, and bold investment will be important to survive. So the environment can be somewhat difficult to companies. So I have divided into three players. First, a logistics company will be the first player, and from its perspective, the competition was based on the economy of scale. And that was a very important issue for these logistics company. And how can they survive as a logistic company? That would be an important question to ask. And there are other players surrounding logistics. For example, truck, forklift, port, gantry crane, manufacturing companies. So there are various players like them. So lift, forklift, and the manufacturers of these equipment will be able to gain opportunities for their business. How can they gain such business opportunities? It's something that we will need to think about. And from the perspective of logistics company, it can be connected to network. I believe that there will be four ways to survive. So first is a platform. For example, food and electronics. So from up to down, the like the whole thing can be connected to create a platform. And secondly, in order to survive, digital matching for truck, for example, we can use specific process to make it into a platform. So I can say this too is about making a platform, and it gives a benefit in terms of scale. If we don't have such things, can we still survive? Yes, we can. It is about providing something extra to logistics. So, making something, manufacturing something in addition to basic traditional logistics, and making predictions on the quantity, for example, can be also helpful to survive. And fourth method would be about new technologies. New technologies will be developed again and again, continuously, and logistics company can also participate in such development and also identify business opportunities in that sense. And what about shippers? There's like a foundation of logistics for shippers, so they can sell their products and gain profit from that. And as you know, there are many big shippers, and many things are moving within these systems. And in the US, there are a lot of trucks and airplanes. And recently, we had license for drone as well. So we can use drones to transport products as well. So they are providing these drone services, and as a shipping company, what if they start transporting the products that they are not making? So someone else's, some other company's products are delivered. So that can be a new opportunity for a shipper. So truck companies or forklift companies and gantry crane companies, there are many other companies like that. And in terms of truck companies, can provide service that's beyond truck services. For example, rental services using the autonomous trucks. Renting an autonomous truck is really about combining this idea of cargo and truck. And different company can ask another truck company to provide them with service. So what I'm saying is that these extra services will be provided and an era of these services will emerge. By creating such business, we will be able to generate profit. And this is a new technology, and it is not applied to our practical world. But what I'm saying is that I want to point out that 20 years ago, we didn't have a smartphone. We cannot live without it today. It has become an essential commodity. So 20 years ago, we didn't have many of the products that we are enjoying now. So considering that, next 20 years, we can imagine a future where anyone can drive a truck even without driver's license. And think about Amazon, Alibaba, or Google. So these companies were created 20 years ago. And all of you who are watching this session, participating in this forum, you need to find new business opportunities to survive. Thank you so much for listening.